Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. This is the fourth video in my mini series on making shaker cards with your Cricut machine, and as this is the last video in the series, it is the one that is the most complex. So in the previous video we made this gorgeous sunflower shaker card where each petal of the sunflower is a different shaker. We're using that same kind of technique today and we're going to make this rainbow card. So again, every section of the rainbow is its own shaker. Each one has a different colour of glitter in, and then the clouds have got little seed beads in them. The reason this one is one bit more advanced than the sunflower is that I've actually cut different colours of card with my Cricut machine to sit beneath each of the arches in the rainbow. So I've got pink, yellow, green and blue in there, and it's all assembled together like a jigsaw puzzle before we make the shaker. So to start with, we need to head on over to Design Space and get our image all ready to cut. Okay, so here's the rainbow image that I'm going to cut to make into the shaker card. It's from Cricut Access, and I'll put the ID number of the exact image in the description of this video so that you can go and get the exact rainbow if you want to make this card. And I'll also share a link to the Design Space project with all of my edits when I finish doing them in a minute, so that if you don't want to play about in Design Space and just cut it straight away, you can open up my project and do that rather than doing all these steps yourself. Okay, so here's the rainbow, and if I go through the layers, you can see how it's made up. So we've got the main kind of grey bit, which is the outline, and then all of the bits of the rainbow and the clouds are different layers on top out of different colours. That's fine, but we need to do a few tweaks to make this suitable to be a shaker card, because we need the border outline to be the thing we stick on top of the acetate to go on the top of the card, and we need all of these shapes cut out of it. If we just put this on, then you wouldn't be able to see any of the shaker bits because it would just be one solid colour. So what we need to do is get the whole image and then right click on it and duplicate and just move it over to the side. Click the top bit of the one you've just copied, so where it says rainbow between clouds, and then press ungroup. This will now let us select all of those coloured layers, so the clouds and the 4 bits of colour, and then group those together, and that means we can go in and change the colour so that they're all one colour. So now on this one we've got the colours and we've got the dark bit underneath. I've got the group selected, so all of the colour bits, then I'm going to go down to the bottom and press weld. And what that's done is it's mushed all those layers together onto one. So now I can select my yellow layer and the dark layer beneath it and then press slice. This gives several different new layers, so if I hide those first two, you can see I've been left with one solid colour with all of the bits in the middle cut out. And that is what will be on the top of the acetate, so the very top bit of our card. We still need to cut all the colours in the clouds, so that first one is still going to be there. We're still going to cut everything in that top one, but also we're going to cut this one. And actually I need to make one more copy of this, so right click and duplicate, so that I've got 3 base rainbows. I've got the base rainbow that's in with all the colours, and that's the one without anything cut out, so it's the solid shape. And then I've got 2 with the bits cut out. And when we come to assemble the card in a minute, you'll see why I needed to do that. Alright, so here are my rainbows, and I'm now ready to click make it. So I'll just show you how that's going to look. So I've got the clouds, which will be cut out of one colour. I've got the 4 little bits of rainbow colour here, and then of my silver colour I've got the 1 solid rainbow at the bottom and then 2 with all the cut out bits. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of that out using my Cricut machine. Once you've cut out all the shapes of your cardstock, you'll then need to cut out the acetate into the shape of a rainbow. I'm using just ordinary everyday acetate, which I think I got on Amazon, but you can get it from pretty much any craft store, or you can find it online. We need to cut the acetate into the shape of the rainbow that has the full silhouette. And the easiest way to get this is just to hide all the layers that we have on the screen until we're left with just this rainbow part. and that's the shape we need to cut from the acetate. So you don't need to resize it or anything. All you need to do once you've hidden the other layers is click on Make It, and then choose the size of your acetate, so mine's A4, and then click Continue. Now this will be a little bit different depending on what machine you've got, I think, but I'm using the Cricut Maker. So I can go into Browse All Materials and search for acetate. It gives you two options, acetate and foil acetate. I'm using just normal acetate, so I click that one and then press Done. Now this is just telling me to load the normal fine point blade, so all I need to do is put my acetate onto my mat, and I'm using the light blue mat, so the light grip one, and then put that into my machine with the fine point blade loaded, and then just load the mat and press go, just like I would cutting cardstock or anything else. Now when I cut these, I did find that my Cricut Maker cut the shape twice, so it did two passes. It cut out the shape of the rainbow and then it cut it again in exactly the same place. So I think that's just because acetate is that little bit thicker than paper, and it's, you know, the plasticky material. So by doing two passes, it makes sure that your blade has cut through the acetate successfully. When it's cut, all you need to do is peel it off your mat just like you would with the card, and then you're ready to start creating the card itself. So let's jump on to my craft room and get started. Here are all the pieces I've cut out on my Cricut. I've got the main base rainbow and two copies of the silhouette. I've got the rainbow shape from acetate, all the different colours of the rainbow, and my clouds. I'm going to start by assembling the base of the card, so the bottom of the rainbow with all the colours. So I'll just put the acetate to one side for a minute along with one of these cut out bits, and then I'm left with these bits. Now the reason that we cut out a second one of these is that it's going to stick it on here onto the base bit, and then all of the coloured bits will just slot in and create a perfectly smooth rainbow. That'll then be the bottom of the shaker card, so we'll use foam pads to stick this over the top once we've attached the acetate, and that'll be how we make our shaker card. So turn the rainbow piece upside down. Okay, so I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue on the back of here. You don't need loads, just enough so that it's going to stick. And then stick it to that base piece and it'll line up perfectly, thanks to our lovely Cricut. And then once you've stuck that one on, then you can go through and stick all of the coloured parts of the rainbow and the clouds, and they'll all just slot into the spaces. So make sure you put your glue on the correct side and then just slot them into place, and they'll just push in like making a jigsaw puzzle. So the reason we're doing it like this is that that base part of the rainbow gives us a nice flat surface to stick everything to allow us to create a nice sturdy base for the rainbow. Oh, that's upside down. There we go. And now I'm just going to do the colours, and I think it's actually going to be easier to put the glue straight inside the holes rather than try and put it on the back of the colours directly. So some glue in there, and then I will start at the bottom and work my way up the rainbow. And it's really nice and easy to do this because you've got the perfect sized holes, so it is just slotting all the colours in there. There we go. Okay, so that is the base of the rainbow all done. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry, and whilst it's drying I'm going to stick the acetate to the bottom of the other bit of the rainbow cut out. So I have got the acetate here. I know it's a bit hard to see. And again, I'm going to turn them both upside down. And again, I'm just going to put some glue, if I can get it out. So this time I'm running all the way along as much as I can. I don't really want any gaps in the glue because that might allow the glitter to escape from the rainbow. And I don't want bits of glitter coming out to either go on the recipient and get them all glittery, or to go into the other sections of the rainbow and go into the other coloured sections where it shouldn't belong. So on this one I am being a bit more careful to just close any gaps that I can see. It's just stick that on there. I'm just going to push it down gently to make sure it's nice and stuck everywhere, but I don't want to get glue on the acetate bits in the windows if I can help it. So we have our top bit done and the rainbow bit done, so now I need to stick them together. And if you watched my sunflower video of the sunflower shaker card, you'll know what's coming next, and it's a lot of work. So what we need to do is take 3D foam tape and stick it to every single part of this silver on the back. So this is the back, so it's the bit with the acetate, and the foam pads need to go on every single line, and make sure you've got no gaps in it, otherwise the glitter will get out. So the reason we're doing every line is that we want to put different glitter in every section to match the colours of this part of the rainbow. So I will start it to show you how to do it. So my foam tape is really wide. I'm going to have to cut it thinner because you don't want any of the foam showing through the clear bits in the acetate. This does wreck your scissors a little bit, so do not use your best scissors, and you'll probably need to clean them when you're done because they'll be all sticky. Okay, so this bit's much thinner. You can see now it's fitting inside the silver. It doesn't want to stick. There we go. So now it's not going over the edge, so that's what we want, and it's nice and curved around the curve of the rainbow. So I'm going to continue doing that. Cut another thin bit. I've spent all day today making shaker cards, so my scissors are a little bit sticky. They need some attention. So I'm just bending this round, following the curve on the rainbow. And where I joined the two pieces of tape together, there is no gap, so you need to make sure there is no gap at all, otherwise your glitter is going to escape, and we do not want that. Okay, so I would continue doing that around the top, but I just want to show you how it looks with the cloud. So on the cloud you'll probably have to cut your pieces even smaller because the edges are quite complex. So just put little bits of foam tape on, and you might find it easier to peel the top bit of the tape off before you stick it. So just follow the shape of the cloud round. Make sure your tape joins when you add a new bit. So push it right into the piece before and then go round. Okay, so you're following every single bit of the silver until the whole thing is covered. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then I will come back into video to show you the rest of the card. It's been about half an hour and I'm finally finished. So here is my rainbow with all the foam pads on. So it's on every single part of those silver lines and there are no gaps in between them. So now that I've done that, I can start adding my glitter and beads. I'm using beads for the clouds because they're a bit bigger, so I can get away with bigger sparkles in there. And I kind of like how the little beads look like raindrops in the clouds. Now this is the only shaker card in my shaker card series where I am using glitter, and that's because normally I don't really like using glitter for shaker cards because it can stick to the acetate, and also it's just really fiddly, but for this one as the gaps in the rainbow are so small, I kind of felt like glitter was the best thing that's going to work. So try, when you're adding the glitter, not to stick it to the foam, because if you get too much stuck to the foam, then that'll create a little pathway for all that glitter to escape from. So if you do get on the foam, just try and get it off if you can, but I know it is really tricky because glitter sticks to whatever it wants to. So I'm going through each of the colours and I'm matching the glitter colour that I'm adding to the colour of the card in this particular section of the rainbow. I'm just tapping the glitter pot gently so that I'm just putting a tiny bit out at a time. I don't want to just dollop a whole load on there and have it all over the foam. There we go. Alright, so that's all my glitter and my beads in there. So I'm ready to stick this onto the back. So I'm going to turn it over and then stick it on top of these clouds. So line it up. Oh, there's a dog hair on it. Let's just get rid of that. I'm going to line it up alongside the other rainbow. And then when I'm happy with that positioning, I'm just going to push it down. Make sure all of those foam bits are nicely stuck together. We don't want to give that glitter any chance to escape. Just push it down nice and firmly, and then moment of truth. Yay! There we go. How cool is that? So the glitter in the rainbow, if you can see, you've got all 4 colours of glitter, and it will all move about when you move the shaker element. And then we've got the beads in the clouds, all nice and separate. So that has worked out beautifully. That's just what I was hoping for. So it's ready to go on a card. I have a 5x7 inch card here, and I think because this shaker card is just so pretty on its own, and I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but the silver card is quite sparkly. I don't really want to do much else other than just put it onto a card. I think that's probably enough. So I'm just going to turn it over and add some glue on the back. Now, because this is quite heavy with all of the layers of card and the foam and the beads, I am making sure that I add a fair amount of glue to the back because I don't want it falling off the card. Bring my card back in. Oh, there's a bit of glitter on it. How did that happen? So I'm just going to position this at a fun angle on the card. Oh no, there's a bead there. Does that mean I've got a hole in my tape? I hope not. After all that, I hope it's one that I just happened to drop. I can't see a hole. I think I'm okay. Alright, so there we go. That is all nicely stuck on, and I'm just going to finish it off with a little sticker. Maybe Happy Days, will that fit? Happy Days. Maybe Good Times. That'll fit in the space a bit better. There we are. Okay, so there is my card, all nice and finished. So I've just left it really simple because, like I said, the shaker part is so cute and nice and big all by itself. I will add a little bow sticker in the top left, just to fill in that gap a little bit. But then there is my card all ready, and it's so pretty with all the different shakers. And I think I am pretty confident in saying that that is one of the most complicated shaker cards you can make. So if you can master this, you can master pretty much any shaker card. If you'd like to have a watch of any of the other videos in this shaker card series, check the description below this video for a list of them all. So I'll just go through them quickly. We started with this simple square shaker card, and then moved on to creating more complex shapes with our Cricut machine, so this cupcake, but still with the square around the edge. So I've got a nice confetti card there. And then the third video in this series was the sunflower, where each petal of the sunflower is a separate shaker bit. So I've got different colours of sequins and beads in there. And this one was a bit different because rather than cutting it out of the square, if I tilt it you can see the sunflower itself is its own cutout shape. Very similar to the last video in this series, which is the rainbow. And the rainbow one we up-leveled even more by using different colours of card at the base of the shaker card to make the rainbow. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up using the button underneath and subscribe to my channel for loads more card making tutorials. Thank you for watching.